Okay, so the next question, Laima, would be, since Illinois is the state where the larger percentages of Lithuanian immigrants choose to settle in, I really want to about the lighter side of things. You know, these amazing parties that you have, the holidays, this tradition. Could you tell us a bit about that? How is it? I think after being in Kaunas or Vilnius or Klaipėda, going to Chicago must feel like home in a way.
It is. It is. You know what? I think if you are into, I think I'm assuming, not that I know of, but those who are into Lithuanian community life, there's a lot of really these days, I would say as of last 5, 6, 7 years ago, there's a lot of good quality events happening in Lithuanian community, and really like high quality actors, musicians from Lithuania coming. So I think it's also related to the fact that now, like I mentioned in the beginning, my generation, those who have migrated 20 plus years ago, and people are taking over, like, the leadership right now is kind of like second generation is going away, and my generation people are taking leadership over. So I can see and I can sense that those cultural events or the sports events or whatever other Lithuanian affairs, I just could relate to them way more because they are organized by my generation people. So it reflects Lithuania more, I would say, like realities in Lithuania probably more than by people who used to live here for 50 plus years, and only for last 30 years they could go to Lithuania, they could actually see people. But before it was more of patriotic, movement without actual connection to the country. So the second generation people, they maintain the culture, but I felt personally myself as an immigrant when I came to United States, I felt all that like Lithuanian spirit, but it was different. It was not the same as the one that I came from, as the immigrant from Lithuania, if that makes sense.
But what would be the most challenging part of being in another city, in another country? Um, what was the most challenging, I don't know, element, uh, situation that you had to adapt yourself?
I think the most challenging aspect was a loss of language, because when I arrived to United States, I have not speak English at all, and there's a lot of components that that language represents in general. It's not only the language; it's my mentality, it's my culture, it's my traditions, it's my way of thinking. You know, and all of a sudden I lost the language. I'm like, I am who I am, but no way I can express that. So all those other components that I mentioned, but I think they would go all under umbrella of of the language, because somehow it is associated with our identity. Is not that Spanish?
So, so
You know.
So did you experience some kind of culture shock at the beginning? You said you were saying 1998, so I don't know
Oh
when
my.
when you wanted to say Lavas Bácaras and people
Oh.
didn't understand or what?
You know what? I will answer to you this way. The fact that I'm in this field to these days, 20 years by now, I
I
guess,
understand.
that's something that I was struggling with, digesting all the time. I studied psychology in Lithuania, and it's just the way I am, just like the way my mind is wired to analyze things. But then I also went to school here just for the same thing, just to process what's going on, And now that I'm still working with refugees and immigrants, and when I'm, presenting what I'm doing, the kind of job I'm doing working with refugees, And as a counselor, I'm saying like one of the key qualities or key of professional skills is empathizing, you know. So I hear those people very clearly. Believe me, 22 years after, when people, you know, struggle with like, oh, dream of land, land of dreams, and then they come to this country, and then reality and those dreams are clashing. I haven't seen a person who would not go through adjustment process. I don't think it's possible. It's just there. So to me, it was, you know, I'm like, whenever I have a chance to talk, I'm like, yes, that happened. It does exist. It's kind of objective thing, and it's okay.
Right. Right.
I
No,
would
it's such a wonderful answer.
I
Yeah,
want
go
to
ahead, Miguel.
ask a little bit deep about that because I think one of um, the aspects that are not really facilitating the adaptation process is
Mm-hmm.
to really want to keep our traditions, but
Mm-hmm.
when we are living in another country, and that creates a really intense shock between
Yeah,
these two cultures. No, but
it
what
is.
would you suggest, or your
Saying what I would suggest for people in that acculturation process. Is that what you said?
yeah
Yeah.
recommendations for helping
Mm-hmm.
them to adapt themselves to the new culture
Yeah.
without losing their traditions over there?
Yeah. I think, you know, I think that the answer is a little kid who came at the age of 2 or 3, or for a woman like me who came in her like early 30s. It's a different thing. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna think American way until I'm gonna die. I know that, but I'm not Lithuanian as I used to be. You know, as the Lithuanian who came from my home country. So I think what is important to find that middle road, that you take the culture that you live in seriously. In other words, people I know, those who are so much into Lithuanian language and culture, like no matter how many years they live in this country, in the United States, people choose to kind of, you know, live in their own circles, and that's absolutely their choice and their right, and people are free to do that. But at the same time, that separation or being alienated, you know, like it takes place, you know. We only understand that main culture from our little perspective living in that little island, you know, like Lithuanian community, let's say. So if I want to go out of my like comfort zone and embrace American culture, you know, and I want to learn, which I did. I learned English. I studied here. Now I'm working in an American agency. So you just understand that by taking that route, there's gonna be a lot of fun, meaning like a lot of challenges. You know, it's
Yeah.
challenging. It's not fun. You know, with you guys, I'm like, okay, speak English, but you know, when it comes to really serious occasions and when anxiety takes place, believe me, I don't speak English. I don't know, it goes away somewhere. You know, so I think those psychological moments, you know, like being able to incorporate a new culture, language, traditions, all that, and then to remain who I am, you know, I think it's like ongoing process. I think like for people of my generation, I believe it's going to remain like that. And I think if people are just like mindful about that, if people just process those things, you know, that like where you want to be, you know, and be cautious. What I would like always think about, like, be aware that you don't know, you know, be cautious with all those uh, assumptions or conclusions. This is how things are, you know, because we are easy to criticize. We are
Oh yeah.
easy to put cliche, you know, like this is how this country is, you know, we are like this and that, like that, you know. So it's kind of humane and normal, but in a way, I think it also creates that internal conflict, internal pain, you know, when you never enough, like something is not good, not good, and it's not going to be different ever. You know, the culture functions with you or without you. So there's something that you can control. So this is what I'm talking about. You know, just be aware that, you know, like in my case, I can struggle as much as I want to be American, and I don't. I gave up. I'm Lithuanian / American, somewhere in between.
Thank you so much. Great recommendations, great
No,
reflection on
yes,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Laima. No, and it actually reminds me of this documentary filmmaker from Catalonia. He made this amazing documentary. It's called like Rafters, and he it was like a longitudinal documentary that he filmed these Cuban rafters who wanted to escape Cuba for freedom, for money, economic migrant, whatever, in 1994, and he tracked them down all of the way until 2004. And it's amazing, all of these life changes, all of the struggles, the pain. So like they wanted the dream, and once they got the dream, they had to adjust in the language and the culture. And at the end, they interviewed this Catalan director, and he's like, you know, for me, these refugees, all immigrants, they are such tough people, very brave. Because for me, migrating is like trying to ride a wild bull, because it will shake you so much, and you don't know where you're gonna end up, and or hurting each other. So it's very wild ride. But as you said, challenging, and it can be fun, but it's a process.
Yeah, that's interesting what you said about wild bolt. I think that's that's the risk, really.
Yeah.
People do pay price, you know. It's like that saying, the grass is greener over the fence. I think that's what happened again to, you know, to all of us humans, you know, that you're think how things could have, would have, should have been if I've been somewhere else, you know, and that you attribute all
Right.
that to the country that is, like, in this case, United States, like, has that land of dream, you know, image in the world. And then you come here, and yes, you start the ride that you did not expect to be the bull rider, but I guess
Yeah.
that's a condition that many of us are in.
Completely. No, I just do hope that we will have the chance in the future to all meet. I really like to visit this city or small town in Lithuania. It's very symbolic. It's called Trakai, where they have this
Oh,
amazing castle over the water, and they have this delicious dish called kibinei. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's amazing. I really recommend to everybody who's going to watch this video to try it. To if they're in the US, go to Chicago. If they're in Mexico, I don't know where is the Lithuanian community in Mexico, but try it. And here in Austria, really, I know where to find them. So you have to try this dish. It's amazing. I really hope that we can all meet there in the future and have this dish, Lima. So thank you
I
very
think
much.
I
I don't know if you have other
yeah.
words, other comments
I
here.
would like to ask you on that sense. Definitely, Lithuania is a country that we must visit. No, I really enjoy also my time there. It was almost at like a 3 weeks, I think. It was really amazing, incredible. People is so friendly, so warm, so open to. Well, they are really nice, and the landscape is beautiful. Technology, development, etc. But I would like to ask you